Mortal blood will run as rivers, hearts will burst, from fear manifest, crawling, tearing its way up from hell.
Back to the Lost Hidden Games, I'm Andy. In this video I'm going to be talking about the second archetype for Abbadon. That archetype is the Faithful. So if you're a fan of clerics and paladins in D&D, this is probably the archetype for you. They worship the dual gods of light in the setting, and they're all about protecting others, guiding others, and slaying the minions of hell. What you'd expect from religious warriors like that. They are represented by the hearts sit within the death cards. Again, I felt this represented the archetype quite well. And similar to the other archetypes, they have 4 unique skill trees. The first of which is Illumination, which is light magic. And it covers quite a lot of things. It can heal, it can do damage, it can defend, so it can reflect damage back at opponents and things like that. And ultimately it can turn the Faithful into a powerful being of light that serves the dual gods. The next tree that they have is the Liturgy tree, so prayers, very much supportive, very much focused on bolstering themselves, bolstering their allies, ranging from offering protection to healing to things like regenerating mana, all that sort of stuff. Third tree is the Martyrdom tree, and this takes advantage of the fact that the Faithful have the highest health pool of all the archetypes. The more damage that the Faithful takes with Martyrdom skills, the skills could get more powerful. So the first example I can think of is the Disciples' Might skill, which is one of the first skills that they can get from the tree. For every 4 health they're missing, they increase their weapon damage by 1. And if they've got a big pool of health, that means that their damage output can go up ridiculous amounts. And essentially it allows them to do damage to themselves, to heal allies, and then they're the only class that have any form of resurrection skill, and it applies to themselves if they have sacrificed enough. And then they are defeated in combat, they will bounce back up at full health and full mana. The final tree that the Faithful have is the Paragon tree. So Paragon kind of branches into 2 sections. One half are all referred to as Oaths, and they are skills that can allow the Faithful to ignore some of their opponent's armor to inflict more damage, but it's a specific foe that they pick. They can force opponents to attack them instead of their allies, so your traditional tank type skills that you would maybe find in an MMORPG. And they essentially allow the Faithful to control the flow of combat through these oaths. The other half of the tree is all to do with martial skills, so they have Master of Arms, which allows them to bump their weapon damage up as they're well trained in the use of them. They can refresh the amount of reactions they get during a combat to allow them to keep themselves safe for longer and keep fighting for longer. And eventually they can become just a whirlwind of sword and shield that does damage to enemies that are all around them, even if they aren't successful in their card draw. So that's our quick overview of the Faithful. You can feel free to ask questions down in the comment, and like and subscribe if you want to see more about Abbadon, and I'll see you in the next video.